Hello fellow muddlers, Bruce here. Well, it's been almost a year ago that I built the Campbell schoolhouse and put up a video on it, and at that time I put it on the layout here and had a little playground area. I think in the video I mentioned I would be looking for some playground equipment to go in there, and I actually did shortly thereafter go on eBay and do a search for HO scale playground equipment and found samples from Bachman under their own name, and Busch, B-U-S-C-H, and Prizer and Woodland Scenics, and quite a few actually 3D printed, so lots of options for you. But I didn't buy anything at the time, and months go by, and maybe about a month ago, one of the vendors that I had looked at, made me an offer on the Prizer set that was hard to refuse. So I pulled the trigger, and this is what that Prizer set looks like. It's got quite a few things in it. It's got two seesaws up here, as you can see, and a sandbox and a little scooter. I don't know if you can see the little yellow scooter or not with the glare. A swimming pool, swing set, slide, I think I mentioned. Jungle gym over here, again in yellow, so it's hard to see it with the glare. But anyway, a number of things, much more than what I need for this little playground. And I really don't want the playground to be cluttered. I want to have some space for the kiddies to take their recess and just run around and blow off some steam. But I think so it looks like a playground, I'll put at least the slide and the swing set in there. And while I'm at it, the other thing that's missing from the scene is all schoolhouses have the American flag either out in the front lawn on a pole or on a pole on the building. And Campbell provides one as a pole on the building, and I will add that too and kind of finish up this scene. So follow along and you'll see the scene get finished up. Talk to you again soon. Well, I've cut the parts off the sprue for both the swing set and the slide. So the swing set has 5 pieces all together. So the two A-frames, the bar connecting them, and the swing assembly that gets glued to these hooks that you see. And I think you can see exactly how fine these castings are. Very fragile. Even the liquid glue could easily melt something like this completely apart, so I have to be very careful. So that's the 5 pieces for the swing set, and the slide over here only has 2 pieces, the slide itself and the stair assembly. Now, in school playground equipment, certainly for the time period that I'm showing here, which would be the 1950s, when I was a kid in grammar school, we all had swing sets. None of them were painted blue and yellow. They were made out of galvanized pipe and left raw. So I will, after gluing these together, and of course the chains on the swings were unpainted. So I'm going to paint everything after I glue it together aluminum color, except for the seats of the swings, which I will paint brown. On the slide, of course, the slide itself was always raw metal, and again I'll paint that aluminum color. Generally, so were the steps going up to the top of the slide, but I will maybe give that a little color. I'll decide on what color to paint that. And there's only 2 pieces there. They're not quite as fragile, although the handrails on the ladder are. So, yeah, It is definitely a job for my Optivisor. I don't often use it, but this will be one of those cases. Carefully glue them together, then paint them. All right, talk to you again soon. Well, the gluing went okay. The only thing that needed a little bit of cleaning up were the pins that are attached to this crossbar. For them to fit through the eyelets, I had to carefully carve a little bit off the ends, and then they slipped on. Also, although they recommend using liquid plastic glue, methyl ethyl ketone type stuff, I was just really afraid of it melting these too much, so I use super glue, ACC, and a lit magnifying glass sure did come in handy. Anyway, glue is drying, then comes some painting. Talk to you again soon. Alright, another little update. Painting of the slide and the swing set is done. I went with Model Master aluminum as the paint for on the slide and for the chains on the swing. I decided to make the pipework and the steps on the slide be a darker color. I went with Folk Art wrought iron as the choice. It worked well. Thin it down a little bit, and the brown on the seats on the swing are Microlux roof brown. Love this paint. A good replacement for Polyscale. So those are painted and ready for installation. On the flagpole, I went with a self-standing flagpole instead of one mounted to the building. And it's from the ground level to the finial on top, 25-foot pole. Probably could have done 20, but it looks okay. And similar to one I was familiar with in my grammar school days back in the 50s, this part is going in the ground, this little part. Then these are two pipes that would be set in concrete, and there would be cross bolts going through the pipe of the flagpole through both of those uprights that were anchored in cement. And when you took those bolts out, then the flagpole, or you take one bolt out at least. If there were only two, you take one out. If there's three, you take two out. And you can now pivot the flagpole down to get painted instead of worrying about getting ladders and specialists to paint it. That would work well with a flagpole of this height. So that's going to be left white as the one was when I was a kid. The finial I did paint a brass color on the top. Probably can't even pick that out. When these were mounted in the ground, again down to about that level, that goes in the ground. These are about 3.5 feet tall. As kids, we used to boost ourselves up and stand on those pipes until we were hollered at by the teachers to get down. But anyway, yep, memories. All right, I'm going to go and see how these look in place. I did search through my little people to look for kids for the playground and didn't find a lot. I probably will have to buy some little kids or look at my unpainted ones and paint some. I do have a teacher clutching her pocketbook on duty in the playground, but yeah, got to find some kids. All right, I'll take some more video when I have these over by the schoolhouse. Talk to you then. Well, space being limited on the shelf where this schoolhouse is, it's a pretty small playground. And as I said, I didn't want to clutter it up with too much playground equipment, but two of the pretty much standards for any small schoolyard would be a swing set and a slide. Metal slide back in the day, not plastic like you have today. And probably position them somewhat like that with kids in the foreground and maybe that teacher acting as supervisor for the recess. So, yeah, those are probably right around where I would put them. Now, coming out a little bit, there's the flag. Proudly flying outside the schoolhouse, and probably could have gone with the 20 foot instead of 25 foot, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. And at some point down the road, once I bought the little people and I'm running some trains back and forth, you'll be able to see the playground occupied. So there it is again, a pretty nice little, one-night project just to finish up the detailing around the schoolhouse. And that's it for this short video. As always, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. And as an aside, I would say I'm pretty impressed with the Prizer playground equipment set. Those are very, very nicely molded, so I can recommend them. All right, talk to you again soon.